What is up, everyone? Welcome to the second official episode of the Untitled A&A Show. I am your girl, Avia.
And of course, Mr. Nobody himself, Aaron Michael Johnson, because everybody likes to use my full name. So hello. Is this really the second episode, or are we just redoing it? Is that what
It's a
this kind
revamp. You know what?
of?
You're right. It's a
Yeah,
revamp. It's a reboot. Let's go. Let's go.
period. So welcome to the A&A show for the first time ever. Yeah, we've never
Yep.
done this before, like at all. Well, how are you doing, Avia?
I'm I'm great. How are you doing?
Just blowing up the timeline.
Of
Take
course,
a
as
drink.
it's your
So
normal Sunday.
yes, so we're recording this on Sunday. So for everyone confused, on Sunday I do violent tweets. I mean, that's the thing. I encourage everybody to do it. It really helps the soul. But we'll worry about that on another day when we're doing this. So, what are we talking about on this new and improved ANA show?
Okay, so what we're talking about today are our top picks for best original song and best original score because movies and music go together. People don't really see how they coincide, and I feel like it's important to really showcase the music and score side of a film because it is actually a very important part of the filmmaking process. And since the A&A show has been revamped more into a music type of deal, we're bringing the music. So let's go.
Shoot, I'm ready. I'm ready. So I think we should go ahead and get started with original song, best original song, and I gotta give it to you, because you're the one with like the taste. I'm the one who just chooses like the crazy, well, all over the place, but you're like the one. It all makes sense when you put it together.
Okay, so
It's true.
my
It's
first
true.
song, my first song is "Jai Ho" from the Slumdog Millionaire soundtrack, and this song, it's used at the end credits, and they have a Bollywood type ending where the cast, well, the main two characters dance with the cast behind them, while as the credits roll, and this song is just beautiful. It's amazing. I listen to it quite often. And, the Pussycat Dolls, they did a English version of the song with A.R. Rahman, who is the composer of the original song. And I just love it. And it just works so well with the ending. And Slumdog Millionaire is one of my favorite movies. And so it only makes sense.
Period.
What's yours?
Oof. Well, my first one is an oldie but a goodie. It's Shaft by Isaac Hayes because I mean, like,
Yes.
you hear that wah wah from the guitar. You already know what you're getting. Like it's 70. Like Isaac Hayes, the funk. We like the Black Moses, as we all call him. Like the man hit it, out of the park with this song. And I mean, just
Mhm.
the score period. Like it just who is the black private dick that's a sex machine to all the chicks? Shaft? Damn
Sure.
right. Like, come on. And like, who thinks of lines like that? And it's to have that in the '70s and for it to win because black exploitation, being
Hmm.
kind of frowned upon, and in Hollywood, like that's a feat. That is an amazing feat, and just I would definitely love to talk more about like black exploitation music, period, on this
Yes.
show. But like just the music, the way it captures the whole theme, just captures who this man is, what you're finna get into. Like it's got that soul, but that action. Like that's a good theme song. That's all I can
Hmm.
say. It's a good theme song. Like.
And if
Oof.
like I know both of our dads, if we play Shaft, they want to know every word to that song. Because my
And be
dad
like,
said when Shaft came into theater, he loved Shaft. He knew every word to that song.
and like think about that, the the effect a theme song will have to where you want to dress like the man, you want to look
Mm-hmm.
like you want to walk around with the, man.
With the long leather coat.
Yeah, with the leather coat, the turtleneck, got the gloves on where you go like that, like Shaft. You're
Love
damn
Shaft.
right.
Damn right.
Mm. He is a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
For real. So my next one is people are gonna laugh at me when I say this, but it just shows how interesting it's hard out here for a pimp from the Hustle and Flow soundtrack by 3 6 Mafia.
I'm here for it.
And I chose this song because that it's from a rock group that I listened to when, I was a kid. And just seeing them win on stage, everyone had this moment like, did they really just win that? Yeah, because rap is a very important instrument in telling Black stories, especially in the movie, Hustle and Flow. It's about a pimp who tries to get into the music industry. So that is a very important type of song, a very important type of genre that hip hop is. Hip hop also tells people forget hip hop tells a story. There's a difference between rap and hip hop. Rap is just words that rhyme. Hip hop is storytelling with rhythm and word.
Yes.
And I feel like with It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, it told a story. And I feel like it was a very important story. And even though it might have been unorthodox at the time, it was a very important song. It was interesting that it won. And it got a lot of radio play. It got a lot of radio play.
I remember that. Whew, that song was like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was. I think honestly, I'd love to see more rap songs win best original song at the Oscars, just because like there's so much good content, especially now, like compared to then. Like now we have Megan who's dominating the charts. Like I need. Come on, like
Oh,
producers.
I found another one. I found another song for best for honorable mentions.
Yes, we got some honorable mentions too, because our lovely host Avia, our lovely host would love to bring up honorable mentions, but like no, I would love to see more rap win, because it's one day we're gonna have to have that conversation where it's gonna stop being groundbreaking when a rap song wins, because it's just music, and like we got to treat it like that. But one black step at a time. That's one. That's one. That's the one for this episode. That's that one joke. But my next choice is my next winner is "When You Believe" from the Prince of Egypt.
Yes.
By Houston and Mariah Carey. Like, I don't know, back in '98 when I heard that thing, just as like, what was I, 6? Yeah, 6 years old. I wanted to watch A Bug's Life like for the 20th time, but that particular song in that movie, other than the plagues and all that stuff, we have to talk about that too.
Yes.
But When You Believe, you do not get music like that often, especially in an animated movie. Like when they all started singing in Hebrew, I think that was the thing that always stood out to me, even in rewatching, is when they sing in Hebrew, because it just meshes so perfectly. Like even like just to geek out for a minute, hearing the song in multiple languages, like if you can have that work, if you can have a song in multiple languages in an animated musical, a biblical animated musical on top of that's not Disney, just work like that, like, oh my gosh. And the one by Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey to be exact, it's like that scene from Ratatouille when Remy ate the cheese and the strawberry at the same time, and it just like created all this stuff in his head, like that's what it's like. You got two powerhouses, in the vocal area, two black women on top of that, and they just like
dominated.
like
Every
video. Oh my gosh, it just Man.
I love when he does.
Right, right. And then she go like this with her head. Like,
But
oh my God,
I get
they
chills every time I hear that song. Every like when you watch Prince of Egypt, like you have to have like for me, it's not necessarily heavy, but when I watch Prince of Egypt, like I have to get into a certain mindset.
yeah,
Like I have to get into a certain mindset when I watch Prince of Egypt, and just hearing the song gives me chills every time I hear it. Every time.
yeah. Like I actually think, that's actually one of the songs that we bonded over when we first met. Now to think
Sure
about it,
did.
like we
Sure
were like, "Oh,
did.
you remember that song from Prince of Egypt?
Yeah.
The Mariah Carey song." Yeah,
Yeah.
like man, that was for anybody who hasn't seen that movie. One, you living under a rock. Two,
Mhm.
do yourself a favor and listen to that song. Like I cannot think of. I really can't think of a song that just is that good. And obviously
Mhm.
the Academy recognized that in '98, but it's like it's such a good song.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
Just thinking about
yeah. I think I know what I'm watching when we're done with this.
it. And people don't realize like DreamWorks, like they were really on the come up
Yeah, yeah,
around that time. Like they were really giving Disney a run for their money.
yeah. They really were. And like this, because Prince of Egypt, just to talk about that for a second, just such a grand movie. Everything
Mhm.
that they love about Lion King is in Prince of Egypt. I'm gonna go ahead and say
Mhm.
it. So
Mhm. It
there's
is.
the hot take for the night.
You're right, but you're
There's
right
the
though.
hot take. Yeah, there's y'all's hot take. Uh. So what's your
Uh,
next choice?
my next choice
Your
is
final choice.
"Glory" by
Yes.
John
Yes.
Legend and Common from the Selma soundtrack,
Hmm.
and this song with John Legend's vocals and then Common's lyrics, like it it takes it to a whole nother level because it's just one of those majestic songs that when you hear it, you're like, you just all you can do is just nod your head when you listen to Common rap, like yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And when they performed it at the Oscars that year, like they got a standing O, and everyone was like, yeah.
That.
And the
That was a moment. That really was a moment in the Oscars. Like I remember, in theaters watching Selma, but like hearing it and seeing, remember when everybody got up, like in the
Mhm.
audience, like that was probably the only time I say this, but Ava was in her bag. She chose that. Like
Yeah.
that
And
was oof.
it's just a beautiful song, and it really encapsulated what the civil rights movement, like having it incorporated
Yeah.
with the movie, really encapsulated what the civil rights movement was about. And
Hmm.
it's just a beautiful song. Just
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. It was. See, now I feel bad for following up with this one because this song was everywhere. Um, in like what 2013, 14. Like I bonded with a good friend over this song too, and it's of course Adele Sky. Um, Woo, like that, it takes you back to the classic Bond tropes. She had um that smooth, silky, sound, but it was like mystery, and you got the taste of what Skyfall was. Like it really took me back to Diamonds Are Forever or Goldfinger,
Mm,
and just that was a song. That song was a damn experience. Let's just be real, that like from the opening lines, this is the end. Like I
mhm,
swore, like the way it was handled, I swear that was gonna be the last Bond film for a while too. Like just the intensity, the way it goes up, and
mhm,
Adele just throughout the whole song, her voice is very melodic and mellow, and then it just rises, and you just like
mhm,
some parts it feels like like with the opening animation, it's it follows it perfectly. Like you feel you get shot when she hits certain notes, and I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
Look how she ate that. Oh no! And then when she sang it live, when she sang
Oh
that
yeah.
thing live, like
Because that was the year me, Jonathan, Audra, Krista, Izzy, and
yeah,
Hannah were working the Oscar party, and we were waiting for that moment when she came out and to
yep,
sing Skyfall. And when she came out, I was like, Jonathan, she's singing, she's singing. He's like, oh, and we all stopped and what? Like everyone just looked at the screen
yeah,
and was just mess. It was kind of like that video of when Beyonce was performing at a Super Bowl and someone was
yes,
videoing some people watching it. That's exactly what it was like
yes. Like the
because
girl was in
the
her
girl could
bag. Saying
she was and and it is the ultimate Bond theme like
that. Yeah,
like if you think of Bond themes like you said it's up there with like Goldfinger and all it was like
it really is. Yeah,
here.
like it just is. I don't know. I guess the word is classic. It just feels like a classic. If you think James Bond, if you heard that, for if you go to somebody who doesn't know James Bond that well, if you play them that and say, well, what character do you think this is for? They're like, oh, that's James Bond. Like it just
And it does
kudos
what
to them.
right and Skyfall does what the film does like Skyfall with the Craig run, Skyfall is probably the best one. Skyfall,
Yeah.
let's face it, Skyfall is the best Bond movie of his time, his tenure there,
Mm-hmm.
and they matched the intensity of the movie with the music, and it just works. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm going to do my one runner up because you have like a bunch more than me, and I'd love to hear your points. But in my opinion, one that should have won was the immaculate, amazing, show stopping, never the same, hard hitting, biting, Public Enemy Fight the Power from
Yes,
1989. Like the way people
absolutely.
feel about Hard Out Here for a Pimp and Lose Yourself from 8 Mile, this is how I feel about this song. That like I don't know. I've never heard a song that's so timeless and yet in one specific time because they name drop 1989, but it's like the song is so damn timeless. Like you can hear it,
Mhm.
you just want to walk around like black leather and a black beanie and be doing this all the time. But like that is it captures everything about this movie. You know, I mean, you think of Radio Raheem immediately. We can
Mhm.
definitely talk about the music in
Let me
this
tell you a
film.
story about the left hand, right?
Yeah, love and hate. Like you can, it's something about the way the beat drops, and then you
Mm-hmm.
start hearing, another summer, and like even with the opening with Rosie Perez, it's iconic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you don't get you don't get something like perfectly linked that often, and for that not to at least have gotten nominated, that's a shame on the Academy because that was amazing. But Do the Right Thing didn't get nominated, period. We know why, but it's like that amazing song. Like I'd love to get into more down the road. Like I would love to really do a deep dive in just the music in certain movies. But yeah, that's my runner up because the composition alone, y'all don't understand. Like song, listen to the song, then listen to the lyrics, then listen to the song again, and you're immersed in a whole different world, but it's like a world that
Mhm.
and I just damn, that's a good song. That's all I can say.
It
It's a good
is.
song.
It is. And it brings me back to Fight the Power by the Isley Brothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God, yes.
I'm gonna use that in something one day.
Classic.
Okay, so I have some honorable mentions. Um, my first one is "I Don't Want to Be Alone" by Aaliyah on
Mm,
the "Romeo Must Die"
yeah.
soundtrack.
Yes.
because number one, that's Baby Girl,
Period.
and the song is just like if you think of Aaliyah, that's the exact type of song that comes to your head. It's melodic, it's slow. The lyrics are not necessarily sad, but you think about people when you think of like you think about your loved ones when you think about her music, and even though she was nominated for Journey to the Past from the Anastasia soundtrack, this one was definitely up there too. And also Drive It Like You Stole It
Oh,
from
yes.
from the Sing Street soundtrack. And Sing Street is a film about this young Irish boy who he starts off first as a fake band to impress this girl that he really likes, but they actually turn out to become really good. And one of the songs is Drive It Like You Stole It. It's based in Ireland in the 80s. And it like if you hear it, like it automatically comes to 80s. Like 80s bands automatically come it comes into your mind when you hear this song. And I played it for you, so you heard it. Like,
Great,
and
great.
it's just a shame that it wasn't nominated, or but it is what it is. And then Teacher's Pet from the School of Rock soundtrack.
Yeah.
Teacher's Pet from the School of Rock soundtrack. Because
Classic.
every time, even though I love the movie as a whole, but every time I get excited to when they're about to perform at Battle of the Bands, because I love that song, and it shows all of the young students, accomplishments, like we know with the instruments that they're playing, how well they can play them, and even though their parents are sitting there looking like, oh man, they're about to do something we told them not to do, but then when they see their kids play, they're like, oh, they're really good. And the lyrics are just hilarious. The lyrics are really good, and they're really funny. It's Jab Black being Jab Black.
Like period. R.I.P. to the young
Yeah,
man.
so the drummer, to the kid who played the drummer. Yeah, he passed like
Yeah,
a few days ago. Yeah.
yeah. Great
Uh,
movie.
Great movie. And two other songs that I have are from comic book movie soundtracks. One is Diamonds by Meg Thee Stallion and Normani, because let's face it, that's a bop. It's a
Yep.
bop. Don't lie to yourself if you don't think so. It's a bop. And then Heathens by
Oh yeah.
Heathens on the Suicide Squad soundtrack.
Oh, we bonded over that.
21 Pilots.
Yeah, we bonded over that song. That. Oh my god.
That song. These two
Oh,
songs.
I think we need to do an episode about comic book movie soundtracks, because
Yes.
yeah, all my friends are heathens. Take it slow. Come on now.
So I'm telling you, when you sit like that song does not let up. It does not let up. It
Right.
just builds and builds.
Yeah.
It just builds and builds. And just the intensity of the guitar and the drums, like you're like, oh my god. And then I would have to say Diamonds. Meg's bars in Diamonds
Oh
are
yeah. Yeah.
like, okay, Meg, I see you. And then Normani coming with the melody, like I, okay, two Texas girls, from Houston, doing it up. Like you can't, two melanated women from Houston, doing their thing. Like you can ask for more. And I just wish the radio would play it more, because they played Heathens on the radio, but
Right.
they didn't play Diamonds on the radio like they played Heathens, which it is what it is. But okay, now on to the score portion. What you got?
I got the super. I have the I guess you could say the easy ones, the safe ones. The safe. Um, my first one is a classic, a beautiful, beautiful score from the brilliant Jerry Goldsmith. It's The Omen.
Mm.
Oh boy, because
That movie.
that movie, like when I was younger, watching these, when I know I shouldn't have been watching them. but just that choir, and the bass, the choir, and those those moments from the drums, like that will put that will make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, because it just, and then with the shots, just like nothing captures the child of the devil better than this music. And I mean, it's been parodied to hell and back, pun intended, by the way. And I I'm speechless, because I mean, this is the freaking devil. Like, this is the Antichrist theme song. Like, just the whole score. It's suspenseful, and this is at a time when horror movies were really getting a little more bold with their
Mhm.
imagery. Because you have a whole a guy getting decapitated, and you see his head spinning in the movie, and this is a time you didn't have things like that, except maybe in like censored comic books or something. And it's like, or horror comic books, and the music just captures that. Like, what, you didn't even get that in Exorcist,
Mhm.
and the way Jerry Goldsmith composed this whole thing, just, you felt like you were in a dream almost,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like, the music, it's really melodic, and you have pianos, and then the next minute you have this choir singing a hellish theme, and you're like, what is going on? And it that's the whole gist of the movie. And they did the thing, that one, for good reason, because it's creepy. It's
Yeah.
eerie. If you want some good music on Halloween, play that. You will not be sorry. You will
Yep.
not be sorry. So,
And
whew,
and people don't realize that like horror isn't just jump scares. Like it's not just like some suspenseful music just playing with jump scares. Like it take like horror like music is in its whole genre all in its own.
right,
Like it's
right.
probably the most experimental type in just this movie with this music. Man.
You ain't lying. You ain't never lied. Ever lied. So, you want to go on your first pick, or you want me to go on my second pick?
It doesn't matter. Which
Go ahead. Let's do
all
a
right.
good back and forth. I like this. I like
Okay.
this.
And my first one is the Star Wars theme from the original New Hope from 1977. And as soon as you hear this, you automatically know that it is a Star Wars movie because they played it in every single one since then. And like John Williams, of course, was the composer for it, and John Williams and John Williams style create something that lasts forever. Like you automatically, good composers are able to have you associate a score automatically with the movie, and he does it every single time, especially with the big ones like Star Wars, and everyone knows this one.
Period.
And normally, like epics normally have that one score that people
Mm-hmm.
associate with it. But this one, like as soon as they hear it with the scroll with the rolling titles, everybody automatically knows.
Like, I mean, I think everyone, at some point in their childhood, when they watch Star Wars, it just, the imagery of that title hitting you, in the blue Star Wars, and then you have the yellow scrolling up, the yellow text scrolling up, and the music, it
Mm-hmm.
just, you're like, you're in a whole different world. You really are. You really did go, to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
just, them horns, just everything just immerses you. I'm gonna act like a bit of a music nerd for a second, but knowing that he was lifting heavily from Gustav Holst,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which was a composer, and he basically did this entire score of all the planets. and Mars the Bring. You can hear Mars the Bringer of War in the theme song with the way it goes dun 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 dun. Uh, and just as a music nerd, like to see John Williams do something like that, to hear and to see him, lift from classical music like this in something so contemporary, like that is just that's a maestro right there. Like nobody does that, and it just it you really do feel like you're in space. Like if you were, like Avia said, if you were going to have an epic in space, this is what you would hear. You feel like you're in the middle of a war, and then to have it just like fade out and then into the actual battle, in the beginning, like, oh my gosh. George Lucas, John Williams, y'all in your damn bag when you did that. Look how the man ate that.
Ate that. I'm gonna make a shirt with that on there. I'm gonna make a shirt with that.
Please do. Like, oh my gosh, man. John would yeah, we gotta do an episode about John Williams.
Yes.
We got to because the man knows how to compose. I can say that, like he knows how to bring some familiarity, but also switch it up every time. And that goes into my next choice, another man that can do that, another composer, and that's Hans Zimmer.
Yes.
Because when he did this music, changed my whole life when I was like 2. And that is The Lion King.
Yes.
When you hear the Circle of Life, even though it was, done by Elton John, just the music, the bass, the drums, the compression, like everything that Hans Zimmer, like everything given to us by this man. Like Hans Zimmer was in his bag. Like he's in his bag all the time. Don't get me wrong. Wonder Woman theme, like Inception, Interstellar, everything he does, gold. But The Lion King, to bring that African, sound to these strings and this orchestra, it touches you in like your damn soul. Everything I was saying about Prince of Egypt, which he also composed, by the way, like he brought a different feel, just to Disney movies, period. And I think, like, if you notice, everything after The Lion King, it all had this big brass and, drums and compression after him because the man delivered. He really did with that. And just like, you can feel the intensity, like rising up when it was Scar versus Simba, when, Simba was, in the circle and Scar was calling him out. You can feel that, like something's going to happen. Or when Mufasa died, like spoilers for, I don't know, for a 2-year-old out there, for a 3-year-old, I don't know, spoilers. But like, when Mufasa died, when, you feel, you have all the feelings, that Hans Zimmer wants you to feel. And it just,
because he went from sad, like he went from majestic, like when Simba being born, to sad with Mufasa dying, to being happy with the Kuna Matata, or I can't wait to be king. Like he was able to encapsulate all of that.
Right.
Like that's not an easy thing to do.
Man was, bro was in his bag. He was in his motherfucking bag when he did that. Like, for real. Like just changed my whole little life when I was 2 and 3.
For real, man.
Actually, and now that I'm saying this, I think that's what got me into my love of music, because I made sure when I was like, 14, 15, I would hunt down, the score to these things. I just wanted to hear the music, and you lose yourself in music like this. But enough about me geeking about that. That's okay.
We're doing a Disney episode.
Got to. Like, in his bag. But what was your next? What's your next choice?
My next one was Lord of the Rings theme from 2000. Yes. When I tell you, When you hear it and you see each person in the
Yeah,
fellowship going walking and it just matches so perfectly.
yeah,
It encapsulates everything about what's as soon as they leave Rivendell, as soon as they leave and that theme and they start walking and starts playing. Oh, this is getting serious.
yeah.
Oh, they're about to go through some stuff, and of course they do, but it's a slow build. Like if you listen to the whole score, like it's a slow build, but when you get to that part, da, 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 it's like yes,
Ooh,
yes,
take me back to the machines over at the casino.
yep. And Howard Shore, he
I was
like you say,
sure.
he was in his bag. He
Yeah.
was in his bag.
Okay, we're gonna have to make shirts to that now. That's our thing.
Yes,
That's our thing.
that's,
That's our thing.
look how he ate
Yeah.
that.
Look
He
how
was
he ate that. He's in his bag. Like Howard Shore, no, like for real. His music in just Fellowship alone,
oh,
like
like the whole soundtrack to the movie was just
yeah, yeah. It touches soul. Like even Zack Snyder, who I didn't know I was gonna bring up, like I will never forget hearing, the song, one of those, from the score of Lord of the Rings on the first trailer for Man of Steel, and it's like, okay, maybe I do need to go see this movie, because I just something about hearing just Howard Shore's like everything, because and I think it was in another trailer that I cannot think, it was something with Scorsese, and I'm just like, the impact that has, the intelligence
mhm,
that has, like everything Howard Shore did just with the Fellowship, like
mhm,
good God, like the man just he knew what he was doing.
mhm,
Like he captured, a very old book, and he made it like I think that's another one that's like with Fight the Power, where it's classic, it's timeless, and yet it also captures a time that we've never been in.
mhm.
It feels. Oof. Oh, that's my writing music for real. That's
Yep,
my writing music. Like
yep.
man was man's was in his bag. Now another man's that was in his bag was my final choice, the one that everybody, I'm certain, wasn't thinking about. Let me set the scene real quick. Let me set the scene. So it's the 80s. Wait, let me get up on the mic. So it's the 80s. Crime is rampant. Drugs are all up in the streets. We have a president that may or may not help, but one story, one film, one score wins for best original score. And that is, of course, Purple Rain by Prince. Because
Yes,
my
yes,
God, like I can talk about the music alone, but man, we gotta do a whole Prince episode. I'm sorry, we make it up
yes.
episodes like for real.
Yeah.
But Mans was in his bag. He ate that.
Mhm.
He delivered it. He cooked it, delivered it to you, then he ate it in front of you, and you ain't even mad because you're like, damn, that looked good. That smelled good. Like Prince did the thing.
Mhm.
You don't make something in the 80s sound so 80s and it doesn't bother you. Like a lot of people will turn their nose up to something that sounds, extremely 80s, conventionally 80s, but it's iconic, just with the last song alone, the final song, Purple Rain, the
Mhm.
title song, but like, the score, I think a lot of people overlook that just because of the soundtrack, and it's like, you got strings, you got synth. It makes you feel like you're in a party 1 second, and then you're just alone. And that's
Mhm.
the movie. It captures, Prince's character, the kid, perfectly, and then um just Morris, like, oh my gosh, ooh, Apollonia, like,
The
come
whole
on, y'all,
soundtrack and the songs, like the whole soundtrack
like,
and the song.
good
Like, why
lord,
wasn't When Doves Cry nominated for best song?
when doves cry, like,
Like, come on, man, come on. Or
ooh.
Let's Go Crazy. Or Let's Go Crazy. Come
Oh
on.
my god, no, let's go crazy. Oh no, my favorite, I would die for you,
For
like,
you, yes.
that man, I ain't gonna talk about. No, never mind. No, I'm gonna say it. I don't want some musicians at that time. They may have had and do have, one of the best music videos out there, but Prince got he got that soundtrack and score on
Mm-hmm.
lock.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, I just, man, we weren't doing a Thriller dance during that. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm
We
gonna
need to
say.
do an episode of that too about Michael Jackson versus Prince.
I'm gonna say I wasn't doing the Thriller dance when I was listening to Purple Rain. Like, you just, man, I can geek out about Prince all day. Like, that. I just,
Mm-hmm. We listen to him all the time.
all the
The
time. The purple one. Rest in power, man. Rest in paradise. Like,
I wish I could shred like him. I wish I could
yeah,
and play like
yeah.
every instrument
I
known
wish
to
I could
man
play the
like him.
piano. Like, man was full of talent. Like, 27 instruments. He was on fire, and just to see, oh my gosh. Oh, we really are gonna talk about Prince all the time if we don't stop. But like, I thoroughly enjoyed the score and the soundtrack by this man with this particular movie, and I mean, like, that's really a first too, to have a rock star do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the purple one, man, the purple one,
Mm-hmm.
ladies and gentlemen, the purple one. I don't know what else to tell you. If you haven't watched Purple Rain, if you hadn't listened to Purple Rain, the score, the soundtrack, whatever, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like, A&A can't help you here. Like, I
Right.
don't
We
know
can't help
what to
you.
tell you.
We can't help.
Like, I can't help you on this one. Just go watch it. Like, go watch it,
Yep.
damn. Like, whew. And what's really crazy, if you think about it, is people have heard these songs. They just don't know what it's from.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just singles from, Prince's album. Like, this is from a whole
From a
movie.
movie. It's from a movie. And he's done
Yeah.
several. Like Purple
Yeah.
Rain's not the only one.
Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm.
So my last one is the score from The Social Network. And the reason why I chose this one was to show that not all scores have to be big, extravagant masterpieces. Some could just be a simple ballad on the piano, and that's all you need to tell a story.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes that's all you need. And the fact that, because I mean, the dialogue and the story pretty much told The Social Network, but
Right.
the music, like just the simple, well, I won't say simple, but the piano underneath it. Dun, 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 dun. Just like underneath all the dramatic things that are happening, you know, and it's simple, but when you hear it, you're like, oh,
Right.
okay.
I think that's what it is for me. Like, yeah, it's simple, but it's what's the word? Complex.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's gonna sound very classist of me and very, like one of those artists, but like, it is. It's simplistic, and yet it's very, it's complex. Like, just captures the movie so well. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
it really does. Like, man, you gonna make me want to listen to a lot of scores tonight. Make me a playlist.
And I have one more, because I would be remiss if I didn't mention this one because I listened to it. Like I have to watch the scene that has this one in it. It's the letter that never came from the Series of Unfortunate Events movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like it's plays when during the sanctuary scene, and it plays when they actually read the letter that never came, and it is just beautiful. It is beautiful. That's all I can say, because it makes you tear up, because especially when you watch, when it's with, when it's incorporated with the scenes, you're like, oh my god, like this beautiful music with this beautiful letter, like it'll get you in your feels every time. And I would just be
Every
remiss if I did not mention it.
no, like that's on the level of when she loved me from Toy Story 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
your other hot take for the night, y'all. But
Yep.
like, yeah, no, yeah, you hit
That's
it
so
right there.
sad. That was so sad. Jesse's origin story. That was so sad.
Yeah. No,
What's your last
you
one?
real deal. No, I don't have any. I
Oh,
did
that was
my.
it.
No, I don't have an honorable mention. Oh, ooh, okay. No, let me figure. I think one on the fly. Um, no, no, because the Academy makes. We're not going there. We're not going there. Not today. The Academy makes wonderful decisions all the time. Let me be a voter, please. Let me be on the board.
Please.
Yes,
Please.
we can be on the board. We can be bought. Come on. Wait. Let me get close to the camera. Here, yeah. Be like, I'll get up all up on the microphone. Like, we can do that. I know people are watching us anyway, so come on. Help a brother and a sister out.
Right.
Like, help us out. We're from the South.
Yep.
You need more Southern, judges anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do? Have those fake? I'm not gonna start. Starting tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe on another one. But like, no, for real. I would like to see, just more diversity in choices for the music. And when I say that, I'm not talking about skin color. I'm not talking about complexion. I'm not talking about, just from a racial aspect. Or ethnicity. I'm talking about, from movies, less Oscar bait films, and actually like look into the movies because the music. I don't care. Somebody's gonna say the medium is the message. The music is the message of movies.
It
Like,
really is.
you can't have a good movie without good music. A
Mm-hmm.
score, or an iconic song. Like, you can't. You really can't. And if you
Like,
don't, you don't have a good movie. I'm gonna just be
right.
honest.
Like when you hear like "Don't You Forget About Me," you automatically think of The Breakfast
Yes.
Club.
Yes.
Automatically, or just stuff like that. Or like trying to think of some more examples, but like stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, like Disney alone,
Yeah,
they
right. Disney. Like as soon
lock.
as you hear this, you automatically know.
They got that on lock. Like, even with it's so many
Or
examples I can
Eye of the
give.
Tiger. Like Eye of the
Yes.
Tiger, you think of Rocky.
You automatic like you
That,
don't think of anything but Rocky. Like, even when you hear Gonna Fly Now, even though I know that was nominated, I think it
or
won.
Danger Zone, you think of Top
Yeah,
Gun.
Danger
Like
Zone. Yeah, you can't not hear certain songs be like, ooh, you know, like it just. I need my directors, my producers, my executives to rely more on good music in their stuff. Because like just because it creates its own identity, it creates the film's identity. If we're being completely honest, when you
mhm.
have a really good score, a really unique score, you can't put that on anything else. Like, I can't hear Jurassic Park's theme on Star Wars. It wouldn't make
Right,
sense. You
right.
know, it wouldn't. And there is without pivoting into that kind of talk, there is a company that does need to step up their game when it comes to that stuff. But you know, it is what it is. We
Yep.
we, we can't get iconic themes all the time, so
Right.
We're not turning that show into this, but you know what I'm talking about. You
Yep.
know which company I'm talking about with the red logo. Y'all know. Y'all know. Y'all know. Shoot. Y'all know. Yep. There's your third comment. All right, there we go.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been the A&A show. And we'll be back soon. And so stay tuned. Our next episode is actually going to be a three-parter about one of my favorite groups of all time.
Don't tell
Of
them what they
all,
want, what they really, really want. Don't do that yet.
the Spice Girls. We're gonna do a 3-episode arc on the Spice Girls. So please tune in for that because we're getting into it. So
Yeah, we're
peace.
definitely gonna spice up your life. I'm gonna make as
Yes.
many Spice Girl puns with the song
Yes.
titles as I can. I promise you. I promise you. Like, I'm make
It's
the
gonna
best.
be fun, y'all. It's or I say too much. It's gonna be too much.
See, okay, there you go. So that.
Or are we gonna do it Saturday night?
Oh my gosh, this woman.
I can go all day. I can
Um,
go all
she's a mega fan. So I mean, like, I'm getting there. You know, I really didn't listen to the Spice Girls. We're gonna get more on that on next episode, but it's good. Like, it's literally night and day, like it is right now with the imagery. So this is gonna be
yes.
really cool. This is gonna be really cool. You know where to find us. You know where to find us. We ain't gotta let you know. So
Right.
hell, we're A and A. You're not. Peace.
Peace.